Welcome to Creepy McCreepface. It's story time. My husband and I loved each other very much, but just as most couples, we would get into arguments. Our biggest argument always revolved around a single disagreement: children. I wanted children, he did not. As the years passed, and I'd hoped he would eventually come around and warm up to the idea of having children, but he remained stubborn and wouldn't change his mind. I reminded him that if we waited too much longer, we'd never be able to conceive a child of our own, but he didn't seem to care. I even suggested adoption and fostering children, but he wouldn't hear of it. "You're not fit to be a mother." His cruel words burned into my memory. I loved him, but why would he say such a thing? I wanted to carry a baby. I wanted to have a life inside of me, a little piece of him inside of me. I love my husband, but he doesn't have the right to keep me from doing this. No one can stop me. I threw out birth control pills and I sabotaged his condoms as I prepared to seduce my husband into a frenzy and love-making and passion. My husband, who knew I was desperate for the chance to have a life inside of me, discovered my plan and rejected my advances. My own husband said I was crazy, that I was becoming obsessed and losing my mind. I loved him so much. How could he say such horrid things to me? Me, his loving wife. That night I cried. I'd never cried so hard in all of my life. He didn't have the right to do this. I would have the life I so craved. It took me a week, but I had my next plan ready. This plan was foolproof. There'd be nothing he could do about it. This time he wouldn't stop me. After he returned home from work, I offered him a beer, and after slipping a dose of crushed sleeping pills into his drink. He, of course, didn't taste any of the medicine, as he greedily downed the offered beer. Within 20 minutes, he was in a deep sleep, practically unconscious. I dragged my husband into our bedroom and onto the bed. I stripped off his clothes and began kissing his body all over. "You can't take this from me," I whispered into his ear, as he remained blissfully unaware of what was about to happen to him. Hours passed. As I had my way with his body, he didn't awaken from his drug-induced slumber. Not once did he feel my warm lips pressing constantly against his cool skin, enjoying every sensation I felt as I carefully finished my task. The bed sheets were soaked from my night activity, but the fluid wasn't sweat, it was blood. My husband's blood. I sat on the floor of the bedroom, my back leaning against the foot of our family bed. I ran my hands lovingly over my tight stomach, thrilled about the life I was now carrying. I wouldn't be able to enjoy the life inside of me for a full 9 months, like most women, but the few days I had with it would be the best part of my life. It's no easy feat to devour an entire human being in a single night, but it was worth it. I finally have a piece of my husband inside of me.